Hey, welcome back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at Monday's storm today. We've got, as I'm sure you're aware, because you've heard on the news and seen in the newspapers, we've got a big area of low pressure in the northern Atlantic developing through the course of Sunday and into Monday. Exactly where that area of low pressure goes is still quite uncertain because it's some time away, but the main models are in agreement that it's going to really hit the British Isles and northern parts of France and possibly give southern areas a real blow of strong to severe gale force winds, possibly up to storm force winds going through the channel. So very significant weather event could be on the way for Sunday and into Monday. Now, just want to mention that I've got a bit of a cough and tickling in my throat, so I might have to stop and have a drink of tea through the course of the video. Hope you'll bear with me if that happens. Also mention me advertising. There's video ads on all my pages at GatsWeatherVids.com. If you hit play on the video ad, and the video ad on my homepage is sitting just above the weather video, but there's video ads on all my pages. If you hit play on those video ads, you will help to support GatsWeatherVids.com. It helps to pay for the website, and the website is what allows me to sit here and talk to you via the website, so it all goes around and it's a very useful thing that you do. The video should be ever changing, so you shouldn't be stuck with the same one over and over again. It should be changing and rotating on a daily basis, so do play the video ads and see what they're all about, and thanks very much for doing that. So we're going to start off at midday on Sunday. Already a very wet and windy sort of scene with this area of low pressure sitting to the west of Scotland. A deep area of low pressure there, feeding in this strong westerly wind that'll be bringing in lots of heavy showers. Excuse me, but what we're really interested in is this area of low pressure sitting to the south of the country in a very strong jet stream. It doesn't look like much, only 1,000 millibars at midday on Sunday. Very innocuous looking low pressure really, but that's the low pressure we're looking at to give us a very significant windstorm and torrential rain event as we move from Sunday and into Monday. There's the jet stream. That's the key to this, the very, very strong roaring jet stream coming across the Atlantic, and particularly this dip in the jet stream that you can see just here. That is where the area of low pressure is within that dip, and it's really that's going to wind the low pressure up. There's also some very warm air on the southern side of the low pressure and cold air on the northern side of the low pressure, and that's really what's fueling this jet stream. So all the ingredients are there for a very significant weather development. So as we move through 12 hours to midnight on Monday, then we see the area of low pressure has deepened a lot. It's gone down 20 millibars to 980 millibars. It's sitting just to the south of Ireland and in towards western parts of Wales at midnight on Sunday. It's winding up a lot, and to the south got these tightly packed isobars. That's where the worst of the winds are on the southern side of the low pressure. Let's go through another 6 hours and you'll see what's happened. Well, there we go. We've gone down another 10 millibars in 6 hours to 970 millibars. The low pressure now is centred across northern England and parts of the North Midlands. Again, it's on the southern side of that low pressure that the worst of the winds are. That's where the tightly packed isobars are, to the far south of that low pressure. That really is encompassing parts of South Wales, southwestern England, the South Midlands into parts of southern East Anglia, southeastern England, central southern England, and particularly through the Channel. I think along the south coast and through the Channel, you could be getting anything up to 80 mile an hour gusts of wind with this very, very significant storm, if that's right. And also northern France, the far north of France, likely to be hit by very significant winds as well from the early hours of Monday morning onwards. Now to go through another 6 hours, which takes us to 12 o'clock on Sunday, then the low pressure is moving into the North Sea, taking the worst of the winds in towards the Low Countries. Looks like the Low Countries, parts of Denmark, northern Germany, really going to get a battering from that area of low pressure as well. Still very tightly packed isobars as below clears, not as strong, but still very windy with gale force winds, this time coming from a west to northwesterly direction, and that will be feeding in much, much cooler air. And then finally, as we go through 6 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, Monday, should say, that low pressure is then sitting up over Denmark and some parts of Scandinavia, and we're left in this much cooler run of northwesterly to westerly winds, and they're feeding in lots of heavy showers, and it will be feeling quite cool indeed. See how the rainfall stacks up with this. We've got a clump of rain associated with that low pressure system just to the southwest of the country at 6 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. As we move through to midnight, here comes the rain sweeping in across the country. Look at those purple colours. That's indicating very torrential rain indeed. As we move through another 6 hours to 6 o'clock in the morning, well, look at that. The rainfall really is piling up across the northern England down in towards the Irish Sea and Wales. If that's right, you are looking at flooding with that very torrential rain indeed. Rainfall rates there over 40 millimetres. No doubt, giving a risk of very significant flooding. So the worst of the rain is on the northern side of the low pressure. The strongest of the winds will be on the southern side of the low pressure. The rain isn't quite so bad across southern England, but you'll have the winds to contend with, whereas you won't have quite so bad winds if this is right across northern England and North Wales, but you will have some very torrential rain. Now, the rain eventually clears off into the North Sea as we move through to midday on Monday, and we get a hook back of rain coming in towards northern England, but it will be easing off through the course of Monday. Finally, as we get through 6 o'clock in the evening, the rain is off up into Scandinavia and Denmark, and then we're looking at showers being fed in with that west to northwesterly blow. Have a look at the upper air temperatures, which show what's fueling this low pressure as well as the jet stream. Well, this is really fueling the jet stream, and it's the jet stream that's developing the low pressure. We've got a big temperature gradient there. We've got 10 Celsius at 850 HPA air across southern parts of the country on the southern side of the low pressure. We've got the 0 Celsius line there coming into west northwest Scotland. 0 Celsius isotherm is proper cool air. That's very autumnal air. We've missed it. We haven't had it through October, but it's on its way in as this low pressure clears. But we've got something like a 10 degree or more temperature gradient from the northwest to the south of the country, and that is really what's fueling the area of low pressure. The low pressure comes through at 6 o'clock in the morning with that big temperature gradient, so it will be warm in the south, but it'll be very cool in the north. Eventually that low pressure will clear away into the North Sea, and then we open the floodgates. There's much cooler air coming in from the northwest with the 0 Celsius isotherm, 0 Celsius line spreading right across the country. So eventually, by the end of Monday, as that low pressure clears away, it will be feeling really quite cold just about everywhere. Have a look at the ECMWF, see how that sees things developing. And what you need to remember with this is that we can't go through in 6 hourly steps as we can with the GFS. We can only go through in 24 hourly periods. So this is where the ECMWF is seeing the low pressure at midnight on Monday, just to the west of Ireland and to the southwest of Ireland, in a very, very similar position really to where the GFS sees the low pressure at midnight on Monday. As we move through 24 hours, the low pressure then has gone up in towards Denmark and southern Scandinavia. So again, that's very similar to where the GFS is placing the low pressure by the end of Monday. So it does imply that the ECMWF and the GFS are in agreement on the track of this storm system, and the idea from both models, I think, is that the low pressure will be running something like that. Maybe that's a little bit wrong actually. We'll be running something like that in towards southern parts of Scandinavia and Denmark by the end of Monday in towards Tuesday. And again, it implies that the worst winds will be in the south on the southern side of the low pressure into northern France as well. And again, we've got the cool air up to the north sitting to the northwest, but warm air being fed up from the south, and it's that feeds the area of low pressure. But overall, the GFS and the ECMWF are very much in agreement that there's a really significant storm system on the way from Sunday into Monday, and we will have to keep monitoring this because all the ingredients are there really for a very strong blow of wind Sunday into Monday. As I say, could get gusts up to 80 miles an hour across southern parts of the south coast, maybe into the Channel. That's very, very significant. Going out beyond this to the 8 to 10 day period quite quickly, the 500 millibar height anomalies are showing very little change really from the ECMWF. We keep this trough of low pressure going to the end of October, and this takes us into the start of November actually, up to the 2nd of November. Still a very strong jet stream coming across the Atlantic, these blue colours indicating an intense trough of low pressure. So the GFS, the ECMWF I should say, is showing no change through the whole of next week and into the start of November. The GFS is a little bit different though, because that takes the strongest of the jet stream off to the northwest of the country and actually builds a little bit of a ridge in off the Atlantic. Now I'm not sure about that, but certainly the GFS is implying that some sort of ridge could start to build off the Atlantic and try to ridge towards an area of high pressure sitting across Scandinavia and Eastern Europe. If that's right, as we get through to the start of November, we could start to see things becoming just a little bit more settled. Here's the GFS generic chart just showing this. This is for a week's time, 31st of October, and there's the high pressure. We're just looking at on the high dominant charts, trying to ridge into the south. The low pressure is stalling off towards Iceland, and the jet stream, the worst of the jet stream, is going up to the northwest of the country as well. As we go through to the start of November, this takes us to the 3rd of November, 10 days away. Yeah, definite signs that the high pressure is building there across the country, becoming quite an intense feature actually across to the east of Scandinavia, and the ridge is being thrown through the British Isles as the high pressure from the Atlantic ridges to that high pressure across East Europe. Again, the worst of the low pressure in the jet stream is being pushed away to the northwest up towards Iceland. So again, the GFS very much implying as we get through to the start of November, we're going to get some sort of build of high pressure. It'll still be quite mild, I think, but settling things down. It could get quite chilly with the risk of fog at night. The ECMWF does not agree with this, though. On the 31st of October, a week away, when the GFS is building that high pressure, the ECM does have a little bit of a build across France, but that area of low pressure to the west of Scotland is the main driver, and as we go through into the start of November, the low pressure very much stays in the ascendancy. So as we go through to the 3rd of November, 10 days away, well, yeah, we're still in a proper unsettled pattern there. No sign of high pressure building in. Low pressure is dominant. And these low pressures in the mid-Atlantic would be getting ready to wind up and sweep the next lot of rain in across the country. So a bit of a disagreement there between the GFS and the ECMWF for the end of October into the start of November. GFS is keen to build in some sort of high pressure from the Atlantic and try to settle things down, whereas the ECMWF wants to keep things very unsettled. But coming back to the nearer time, both models are very much in agreement with that storm system as we move from Sunday into in towards Monday, and that's what we've got to be focusing on, that storm system, because it does look very significant. I will be keeping you updated both on my blog and with my videos over the next couple of days, so do keep checking back for more updates as the models pin down exactly where this area of low pressure is going and quite how deep and severe it could get. Looks very significant. I wouldn't say it's going to be the worst storm for decades, which is what was on the front page of Daily Express yesterday. Don't know where they get all that stuff from. I wouldn't say it's going to be anything as bad as that. It's going to be a very significant windstorm, but I'm sure we will get through and it won't be the end of the world. That's it for now. Keep checking back for more updates, and that's all for now. Thanks for watching.